All right, guys, deer season's fixing to kick off just any day now. And some of you have already started. I've already had a few hunts, but then we have a pause, and then it kicks off again here in a few days. I wanted to go through my filming setup and just kind of talk about how I film. And I had a lot of people say, I really want to start filming this year, but I don't really know how. This might give you some tips. There's no right or wrong way, but it is cool to be able to go back and look at 2 years ago, a cool hunt I had, or 3 years ago, and relive that experience. I highly recommend you doing it. Whether you put it on YouTube or not is irrelevant, but having those memories, being able to relive those hunts in August when it's 1,000 degrees outside is pretty priceless. So let's get into some of the stuff I use and how I go about it. All right, so first and foremost, on the front of my bow, I run a Tactacam 6.0. I also have a, what's it called? Solo Extreme, I believe, is the other one. That's a round one. They're really good. Now, the negative is, spider webs, the negative is they're not making them anymore. So the batteries, as they get older, the battery life's not as good. And so at some point, this will probably get substituted off for like a DJI Action Osmos 5 or a GoPro or something like that. I don't like those as much because it's really wide view, but if they don't make batteries for this, there's nothing I can do about that. But for this year, I think I'm gonna be rocking this again. I might end up switching to a GoPro or something on one of my bows just to kind of experiment with it, because at some point it's coming. I just need to get prepared for it. But I have this on my bow. I have a 5.0 wide on the tree that I run on a little mount like this, just like this. Clips onto my saddle. It's kind of looking over my head. I have one remote that activates both of those. You could do the same thing with a GoPro. I'm a big Tactacam guy, so I use Tactacams. Like I said, at some point, I'll probably have switched to some GoPros just because they're not gonna make these batteries anymore, and that will become a problem. But one remote, turn them both on, and then I don't have to think about that anymore. Then I'm just bow hunting. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. They've got the other mounts here, same thing, Tactacam 6.0, and then you've got a stabilizer mount here. If you can find one of these on eBay or maybe a Walmart or something, I highly recommend those. The other thing though, my camera arm, I'm using a 4th Arrow. I don't know which one this is. It's the trifold arm. It's probably a couple years old, so it's probably not one of the newer ones. It's not super light. That's the negative. I like the arm. It's very smooth. It's silent. This thing right here though, the part that actually goes onto the tree, weighs a ton. It's like a boat anchor. I do want to at some point get to a lighter version of some of this stuff, but this one does work good. It's just heavy, and I'm trying to cut weight as best I can. I use one of my phone mounts that I sell in my eBay store for filming with my phone. So the way that would come in the mail to you would be like this. It's gonna come like this in the mail, all right? What you get here is this is the part that actually is gonna mount to your fluid head or your ball head, whatever you're gonna use. It'll screw in right here. This part will go to your phone, and all of that will be mounted on your camera arm. We're gonna go outside and actually hook it up here in a second, but I wanted to just kind of explain to you, this is what I sell. This is a really cheap fluid head off of Amazon. It's like a micro, so it's smaller, a little lighter than some of the others. Cheap, I don't even know, it's a newer brand, which is just a cheap brand. But this little part that comes on the fluid head, you just attach that on the bottom of the mount that I sell. I film most of my stuff with an iPhone. I've just come to find that I always have it with me. I don't like lugging a big camera in. The camera that I'm filming this with is a pretty big camera, and if there's ever a chance of rain, I get into this like, should I take it or not? Then I end up taking a bag or something to put over it in case it rains. It's just a headache and it's not worth it. So I end up filming a lot with my phone. So that little quick disconnect will go there. This will go on your fluid head, and this is how you would attach your phone onto that using that. There's a magnet in here, and you get a little metal 3M piece to go on a phone case. Now, here's what I do. So this is the one I used last year. This is a 14 Pro, something like that. A little cheap case off Amazon. It was like 10 bucks. It's kind of a rubbery texture. I don't really recommend that, but you can see I do have it here. I put tape over it. I put some glue on it because it doesn't stick to this rubbery texture super great. It worked though. I never had an issue with it coming off, but I did have to put some glue and some duct tape on there just to make sure it stayed on. But I did just get the new iPhone 17 Pro Max, whatever that one is, because it does have a better zoom, and that was the only reason I really wanted to upgrade. And I ordered a $10 phone case for that new iPhone 17 Pro Max, whatever, specifically to do what I'm doing with my old one. I'm gonna only use this one for filming hunts with. So I'll actually put that metal piece on here. I'll use this just when I'm out hunting, and I'll switch it back to my other one whenever I'm not hunting. So I'll put this metal piece on there, make sure the sticker comes off. I'll put this little metal piece on the bottom of this phone case. And anytime you're using phones up in a tree, there's always a risk of something falling and breaking. So be careful. If you don't feel comfortable, don't use it. I mean, you won't hurt my feelings. If you don't like it, if it doesn't feel comfortable to you, don't risk it. But I'll just put that little piece of metal. This will come in the package. Now I can slap that on there, one-handed, take it on and off, and I'm not having to use one of these types of rigs where it expands. It takes two hands to put your phone in. It makes a noise if you pull your phone out quick. This is totally silent. So there's felt on there that keeps that metal from slapping on there. I'll take this phone off. I'll take this case off of it, and this case will just be like my work case. This is a weekend case for deer hunting and things like that. And so then I can slap that on there when I want to go hunt, and I can film with it. I can put it in my pocket for the trip there and stuff. Let's go mount it on a tree, see how everything looks on a tree. All right, so we're gonna pretend this post is a tree because everything's wet because it just rained. All this stuff would be in my backpack, and the thing on top when I open my bag is this part. This is the first thing that goes on the tree. So these other things would be put up. So this comes out first. I've done a bunch of stealth strip on this. I would highly recommend that if you're going to run one of these, is stealth strip everything you can. It does bite into the tree good. If I'm saddle hunting, so this would be my saddle hunting setup. I run this on the right side, I'm right-handed. You don't have to have one of these expensive camera arms. You could just have a screw-in mount for like a trail camera. So the one thing I like about this is it's not a ratchet, so I don't have to worry about any noise. It just cams over. And then I can, even if my tree's got a little lean, I can get this perfectly level. It's got a level on there, tighten it back down. Then I put my arm on, my camera arm in. So this would be on the outside of my pack, actually like in a cup holder. Cinch that in right there. Lock that in. Then I twist this onto the little mount here on the camera arm. Just that easy. Open this mount up. Then like I said, phone's always with me. Just slap this on here and I'm filming. So I wasn't a big fan of filming with your phone at first because I always think like, you know, you got to turn it on, get it on camera mode. But if you'll use the little shortcuts that are on your screen and just press and hold that camera button and the camera just pops up. I like this iPhone, this new iPhone, because it has an 8x zoom. You're not digitally zooming and pixelating everything. You can see farther out there. I think 5x zoom lens was the prior ones. So you get a lot better zoom lens, which in deer hunting, sometimes that's needed. So if I'm saddle hunting and I've got my saddle here, I've got my camera here to the right, I would actually probably have it a little bit lower, just about hip height. That way I can put my camera on it like this, and then I can move, and I could shoot this way if I had to, if I absolutely had to. I could flip my hips a little bit and get a shot off this way, and it's not up here kind of in my aiming lane. But that's if I was saddle hunting. It's on the right side. This is my strong side, obviously, over here. And I can shoot pretty much everywhere. I could push this in against the tree, and I guess I could stop that. And I can come back over here and shoot if I need to. So that's filming with my phone. One other good thing about this is you don't have to worry about like a SD card getting full. It'll go to the cloud. It'll save to the cloud, and you can edit it whenever you want. If you want to edit it next year, that's fine. You don't have to worry about an SD card getting full and then clearing it throughout the season. It'll go to the cloud. You can mess with it 6 months from now if you want to. That's a benefit. I really like that part of it. If I'm hunting on a lock-on stand, so let me switch this over. All right, so if I was in a lock-on stand back to the tree, I would probably, again, I'd have this a little lower, but I'd have this on my right side so that the arm kind of comes out here like this. So if I had to, phone in my pocket, phone in my hoodie, phone in my hands, whatever, I can just slap that on there and I'm ready to hunt. You know, I can obviously pivot this however I want. I'd probably swing it out away from me a little bit and just hit record, push it away from me, and now I'm hunting over here. And I've got all my shots over here. I don't have a full 360 like I would in the saddle, but I've got a good, you know, what, 150, 160, something like that, that I could shoot sitting down. If I stood up, obviously I'd have a lot more, but I'd have this on my right side, have it a little bit lower, about hip height. So if I'm sitting down, it's about my hip height. That way I can still shoot, I don't have to worry about my arms hitting this camera arm. And this would all be just right in here close. And again, push it kind of back here out of the way potentially. You know, you could have it right here. Let me lock it in a little bit. And then if it's, of course, if it's lower, I could draw back and not have to worry about hitting it, and it shouldn't be in my bow area. That's one benefit of having a little longer arm. If you have a shorter arm, it's going to be tough from a lock-on or a seated lean-to stand, something like that. But the setup's really good. That's why I keep coming back to it. It's heavy. I don't like the base. It's heavy, but it works. It's steady. It's silent. I like a lot of things about it, but I wish this was lighter. And I know there are better ones out there for weight. I like using this phone mount. I built this for my own use because I wanted to film hunts with my phone. I didn't want to carry this big camera out there. I built this for me, and I thought, I bet other people would benefit from it as well. So folds down nice and small. It's super light. Get you a small, light fluid head or ball head. Fluid head's better than a ball head. Ball head's probably cheaper. Keep that in mind. But get you a nice small one. All that stuff will pack in real small and light. Your phone's already with you. I carry a little block, a little power brick that I can, and a cable that I can hook up to this if I need to, and get, you know, if I run my phone dead playing on it or on Facebook or something, and I can hook into this real quick, get a little juice just hanging from my backpack down here against the tree. Really like this phone mount, and I'm not just saying that because I made it. I use it every time I hunt, so can't recommend it enough. Go check it out. It's that simple when you're hunting and you want to go, oh, there's a deer, I need to put my phone on there, and now I'm ready to hunt. I don't have to worry about expanding any jaws or anything like that. It's silent. Can't recommend it enough. Last year I sold out of them like mid-season in a week. I announced it, and a week later they were all sold out. I had a big rush on them, and I ordered more stuff, built some more, so hopefully you can get on there and get you one. They'll be linked down below. All right, so one other thing we need to talk about, and I've got like a little mini tripod holding my good camera, so because I've got my other tripod here, ground blind hunting. So for ground blind hunting and filming, I just use a cheap tripod off Amazon. I don't know how much this was, maybe 15, 20 bucks. Super cheap. It works great. I've used it a ton. I've hauled it through all these Shot 3D events. This is the tripod I'm lugging around miles and miles and miles. It's worked great, minus one of the legs has popped off, so I need to probably order another leg for it, or order another tripod, because it's, like I said, pretty cheap. But I use these tripods, super simple. The legs are adjustable. These are just good to have around for anything. If I'm filming here at my shop, this is generally where what I'm filming with. So I use these little cheap tripods all the time. All right, so it's got a little fluid head on it, so you don't even have to buy a fluid head if you're gonna use that. It comes with a little quick disconnect. So again, back to my little mount that I sell on my eBay store. It has a 1/4 inch thread, 1/4 inch bolt here. It threads into that, and then you just mount your phone mount onto your tripod. And one other thing about these mounts is the bolt on the bottom is designed to come out if you're rough on it. I didn't want it to break. I didn't want it to be glued in and some of the threads get any glue on them or anything. So I specifically made it to where that bolt can come out. Now you're welcome to get some hot glue or some super glue, put a little dab on there. I just didn't want to risk all those threads getting messed up. I actually did a batch like that, and 99% of the threads were messed up, so I decided not to do that the rest of them. It's just too risky. If one thread gets messed up, it won't go all the way in. So it can come out. If yours comes out, just pop it back in. If it becomes a problem, if it gets to where it's walled out the hole, put a little dab of super glue in the bottom, put the bolt in, let the super glue set, and then make sure it'll thread in. So anyway, I've got it on the tripod, got my phone. It's that simple, and then we're bow hunting out of the ground blind. So I use this a lot in a ground blind. It's so small that it packs up. You know, of course, this can come off. Throw this in your bag, and you've got this out of the way, and then this itself compacts real small. Another thing that I use that I don't know that you can even get anymore, probably should check on Amazon, but this HME ground blind filming setup right here. It's made by HME, I think it is, yeah, HME. This actually clamps to your crossbars on your ground blind. So it's kind of looking back at you, and it's got this stake here. It breaks down pretty small. This thing was cheap. I don't know how much it was. It's been a minute since I bought it, but it was cheap. If you can still find them on Amazon and you're specifically just going to be a ground blind hunter, they're really a pretty good way to go. Yeah, if you're only going to hunt ground blinds, this was a pretty cool setup. I just don't only hunt ground blinds. So this would be on the crossbar in front of you if you're sitting in the ground blind. This swings over to the side, and then you've got this little, it's not a fluid head or a ball head, it's just tension based that kind of looks out the right side window. Same concept. This will thread onto this. This opens up, and then I can put my phone up there and have my phone looking out the window to the right, and I shoot through the center window. I've also clipped GoPros and stuff onto this looking back at me. It's got a few little spots you can hang grunt tubes and stuff. It's a neat little setup. It's just something I didn't use a ton. It's kind of gotten, I forget about it. It's been thrown back and just not used like it should be, but anyway, it's something if you are specifically just a ground blind guy, pretty cool setup. They're cheap. You might buy one for every ground blind and just have them already out there, and you just got to come in and put a mount on, and you're ready to go. Clip your phone on. So I appreciate you guys watching. If that helped you at all, let me know. Leave a comment down below. I love filming hunts. I definitely recommend you to film your hunts. I think it's something that, like I said, you can go back and look at and enjoy the benefit of reliving those hunts. It's fun. I can tell you from experience, I do it every summer when it's hot and I'm miserable and I'm ready for deer season. Check that out. If you buy a bike, buy an e-bike, buy Rambo bikes, use Triple R Woods at checkout. It helps you a ton. It helps this channel out a ton. Lots of cool stuff coming from Rambo. Check out the eBay store, the Patreon, giving away a cell camera, one of these over here. Giving away a cell camera very soon. It probably may have already happened by the time this comes out, but if it has, we got other giveaways coming throughout the fall. Like, subscribe, stick around. Appreciate you guys.